What's up? How's it going? Durka, what's up? B Meeks, the Bear Keep. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, I'm just checking in. Today was rough. Today was rough. I think 3 out of however many of us there are, 3 out of 7 of us were sick. It's pretty gnarly. Yeah, so Emily was sick all day today. So Emily, Izzy, Zoe, and the twins were all sick today. It's pretty nuts. So I had to do the mom jobs today. And I suck at mom jobs. I had to change like 6 diapers today. Yeah. I don't do diapers anymore. I was cool about that in the beginning, with the first couple babies. But I don't do diapers anymore. But today I did diapers. Hey, thanks, Durka. Yeah, so Zoe barfed. That was cool. But she made it in the bucket. Man, I'm so proud of her. It was fine. It was, yeah, she made it. She's 5, about to be 6, made it right. When we find out that our kids have a stomach bug, we just make them walk around and sit with a mixing bowl next to them. She just, peeked right into it. Solid. So it could have been way worse. Yeah. I've tried to follow Emily's rituals. Yep. Yeah, she really was. She got treated like a princess. I brought her water and waited on her hand and foot all day because she's the most sickly one. But yeah, Emily was in bed all day. I went and got him Chick-fil-A. I took the babies to get Chick-fil-A. And, we do that. We get 30 nuggets. Dude, that's a freaking deal, man. $10 for 30 nuggets. That rules. And yeah, so I brought food to Emily, and I brought Emily over the course of the day. I brought her about 8 popsicles. But those popsicles are in the clear wrapper, and I don't know what you call them, not Fun Pops, but it's not like a regular popsicle. It's just this long tube, clear wrapper with color. Those things are the jam. Yeah. Emily, consumed probably 8 of those of various colors. So I brought her those. But yeah, I had to kind of I haven't taken off work in a long time, so I literally just had to take off work today because everybody was barfing and stuff, so that was cool. Flavor ice, that's it. Lobster, that's it. It's exactly it. Flavor ice, yeah. Yeah, this is some kind of even more off-brand version of that. It's not called flavor ice, but yes, that is what it is always called. Flavor ice. Yeah. Yeah, the blue ones are the best, for sure. But yeah, I'm just kind of winding down the day. Tomorrow is Izzy's birthday, my first baby. She is turning 9. Can't believe it, dude. I've been married for 10 years. Lobster is the MVP of the live stream. Ices. I think Ices is also correct. I think I've heard Emily call them Ices as well. So you also get MVP status, Durka. Thank God it wasn't Sunday. Oh yeah, we couldn't. There's no way we could go to Chick-fil-A if it was Sunday. That's the only time I ever want Chick-fil-A is on the forbidden day of Sunday. I live by the company that makes them. Oh, nice. What state do you live in, man? If you don't mind me. I mean, I'm trying to get some people together to hang out this week. Be sweet if you lived in Texas, but you probably don't. The Barracuda Lobster is a pro at Long Beach. You suck. Illinois, yeah, yeah, dude. I detected a little bit of a some kind of like Chicago accent or something, or some kind of Illinois area, almost Minnesota kind of vibe on your live stream at one time, but his favorite flavor is white. Yeah. Yeah, today is pretty fun. But yeah, tomorrow's Izzy's birthday. So dude, I might need to like go to Walmart tonight or like get a car at least a card for we have all this stuff, like having this big party for her on Saturday. But that's the thing about having like birthdays on a different day is kids still expect shit on the actual day. So I need to actually do something. And so today we were all sick, so I kind of just gave her one of her presents early. I bought her Mario Maker on Nintendo Switch. She really wanted Mario Maker, so we played Mario Maker all day today, and that was pretty fun. So that's kind of the upside of being sick is you get to, you know, in between cleaning up barf and changing all the, you know, and in between changing all the endless twin diapers, we you know, got to rock out some Mario Maker. That was fun. It's kind of cool. You get to like make your own Mario course. So it was awesome. You know, we would just do stupid things like we'd make our world like a haunted house level and it would have like 40 Bowsers. So as soon as you get into the world, you're like immediately being attacked by 40 Bowsers that are shooting flames at you, and you know you can't beat it. It's impossible, but it's hilarious. Yeah, yeah. I need to get Emily in on the stream. She kind of started her stream before I started mine, and hers are pretty interesting. Kind of a lady perspective. I chime in with my like kind of douchebag opinions, and I kind of crap on her stream a little bit. But yeah, I need to like do the reverse. I need to have Emily on my stream. That'd be cool. She could bring in her lady opinions into my douche stream. I think that would make more sense. Make waffles for her birthday breakfast. That's a good idea. Yeah, kids love waffles. Waffles and pancakes for show. What's up? I never know how your name is so it's bear map and direct. Every time I see it, I want to say bear ma panda. Bear map and directory. Yeah, you'll need to check out the bear map. It's pretty cool. There's like a map of bears and where they are in the United States. I hang out with a bunch, not a bunch, but like a couple guys here in Austin, and there's some cool guys. I hang out with Flipping Bear and Poetic War Bear. Those dudes. Those are my dudes. I love Durka says I love husband and wives discussing things. The duality is awesome, especially because Emily is so down to earth. Yeah, me and Emily have that like to the extreme, especially because you know we've kind of lived up until like a few years ago. We've lived like a pretty modern lifestyle where you know I'm a graphic designer and I'm a musician, which aren't like super traditional things, but the way that we like live our life has always been very traditional and very I don't know, just like the not even traditional. I wouldn't even say traditional. Like our roles are super defined and super specialized, and people think it's antiquated and retarded, but it's awesome. Dude, I make money. She takes care of the home. Like I do stuff outside of the home and make the money, and she makes the home happen. She really is like an actual homemaker, and yeah, like I don't, you know, I'll help out with dishes and diapers every once in a while, like when everyone's barfing or something like that, like all at the same time. But in general, like I don't do diapers. I don't clean the kitchen. I don't do laundry. Not because I'm an asshole, but because I'm spending all my time making making the money, making crap happen. And yeah, so Emily brings a huge. I mean, she is the value of our house. Like she, this is like another reason why, like, you know, full time moms and full time wives are so valuable. People don't get the value behind it. Like if you tally up like how much you'd have to pay like a full time maid, a full time nanny, a full time cook, a full time chauffeur, a full time professional shopper or whatever. All those things. Like a freaking housewife is worth like housewife is a stupid term. That's a wizard term. I don't believe it. It's just called a wife. It's called a mother. Um, all the other moms are are stay at work moms. There's no such thing as a stay at home mom. It's just a mom, and all the other moms are stay at work moms. That's what it is. But yeah, if you tally up all the shit that Emily does, like she is financially worth like two. I would have to. It would be like 200, at least 200 grand a year. That would be like really stiffing everyone that I'm paying to do all those things too. Emily's probably worth 250 grand a year of like value. Like I don't make that much. Like she like in effect she's worth more than I am financially. What you guys saying? Yeah, kids love waffles. French toast is better. Yeah, lobster. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, I can't eat syrup, man. So, syrup, I literally haven't had syrup, like maple syrup hasn't been on my plate since, I think it's been 18 years. Yeah, one day I like overdosed on pancakes and syrup and never again. Fun fact. Is It's Old Bear, right? Old Bear, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude, I do look like Ned Flanders. Philosophy of the greatest blood. Yeah, I just realized this. I've never done like a full stash until this week, and then I realized immediately that I looked like Ned Flanders, and I'm just kind of going with it because I've always thought Ned Flanders was lame until I actually thought about it, and I did a whole stream on it last night. How Ned Flanders is pure logos, man, pure logos. He's the only good male role model that I had. He's probably the only good male role model from the '90s, and yeah, man, you kind of look like Dave Grohl. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Dave Grohl kind of looks like a monkey, but I can kind of look like a monkey, so that makes sense too. Durka says, same here. Hub takes care of the money and of us. I take care of everything else. Yeah, everything else. Wives do everything else, and that's a lot. It's insane. Do you have a tiny comb for the stash? I have a comb that like I'll comb my hair like once a day when I brush my teeth. I'll just comb my hair and I'll I'll run it to the stash and that's it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You're a full-time teacher too. Yeah. So is Emily. Yeah, we just got ready for we're getting ready for this our second year of homeschool. We're doing Izzy in third grade and Zoe in kindergarten. We just bought we did classical conversations last year, which is what Owen Benjamin is talking about doing. We did it. I'm like ahead of the game for Owen Benjamin on a lot of things. Not everything, like the small hats and stuff. I'm still kind of catching up on that stuff a little bit. But as far as like homeschool, vaccine bullshit, I don't know, like running my own business, even producing my own shows. I was doing that before Owen Benjamin was doing that. There's just some things like that, but yeah. But this year we aren't doing classical conversations for homeschool. We're doing Memoria Press. Memoria Press is awesome. They're both like a classical model of education, but they're just Memoria Press is a lot more like click here and buy everything all at once kind of a thing. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna do that this year, just because with the twins and the new baby, we don't even have time to like dedicate to the co-op thing like every single week. It was getting kind of crazy, but I highly recommend both. Classical Conversations is great because it's got kind of a built-in community part of it. We already like met everyone in the community and have all their phone numbers and go to the church where the meetups are at now, so we have no need to pay into that thing anymore, I don't think. Yeah, stay at work moms, dude. I'm coining that. Like I'm sure like somebody has said it before. Ah shit. But yeah, Durka. Stop saying I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, don't even let other people say stay-at-home mom. There's no such thing as a stay-at-home mom. It's just called a mom. All the other moms are stay-at-work moms. They get the fucking random label, not you. The wizard label. Ruxpin Bear, what's up, man? Emmerich says, most deaf. Moms staying at home are worth their weight in gold. I've been putting off sleep for 3 hours now. Peace. Yeah, man, I need to hit it too soon in a minute, but I'm just having too much fun with you guys. Bye, Emmerich. Okay, maybe not. Durka says, ooh, I didn't mean that in a shitty way. He makes my dreams reality. You make Emily's a reality too. Yeah, no vax here either. Yeah, man. I heard not man. Yeah, lady. Durka. Yeah, we've had, five kids, one on the way, 0 vaccinations, and not out of ignorance either. For us, dude, I did a shit ton of research on this before Izzy was born 9 years ago. And 9 years ago, there weren't like freaking little anti-vax documentaries and all this shit where you can kind of learn everything in an hour. Dude, I put 250 hours of research into that shit. So anyone who wants to like come at me with that stuff, dude, I'm armed with so much freaking information that, dude, no one can touch me on that because I'm just so like, I don't know. And that was just like my first run of research 9 years ago. Like I've probably put another 100 hours or maybe another 200 hours of research into it after in the last 9 years too. So yeah. But yeah, it's just, yeah. And then on top of that, man, there's just no way that thousands and thousands and thousands of parents are just making this shit up. That's the other thing too. That's like one of the biggest points to me is like, really? You think that just thousands of parents are making shit up that that their kids are having reactions to vaccines and shit, and whatever it is, like billions and billions of dollars that have been paid out to two parents that have vaccine injuries. That's just made up. That's just a conspiracy. No, dude, it's a matter of public record. Like, you can go prove it. It's retarded. I can go on and on about that. Durka, you say, oh dang. Say you've been homeschooling 9 years. Way to go, that's awesome. We do My Father's World and only started doing co-op last year. It's a lot of work leaving your house with a bunch of kids. Yeah. The whole socialization thing is just, once you homeschool for like 5 minutes, you realize that thing is just total, that argument is total bullshit. With 5 kids especially, people ask us all the time, how do you social? Dude, our fucking life is socializing. Like, that's all we do is socialize. Even if we had 0 friends, we would still be socializing nonstop. But we actually hang out with people probably 10 times more than we hung out with people with kids before we started. We have people over 2 or 3 times a week, nonstop, since we left the public school system. The whole argument is retarded. I've talked about this before, but I've got a buddy who has he made a keychain for himself that has I don't know, 8 or 10 of like the only thing that people say against homeschool, like the only questions people ask. He just put them on he printed them out, put them on a keychain, and then when people would ask him, "How do you socialize?" he would just like show them the keychain and make them read it. And he would just stop talking about it. He would just like make people read the shit. So funny. Because there's only like 10 NPC questions that could be asked about homeschool. And the answer's the same. It's dumb. Hey, Joe, what's up, man? Durka says, I hear you on the vax. Same for me, and my oldest is 13. I had 8 kids. My youngest is 10 months old. Nice, man. You're going strong. You've got tiny gaps between kids. That's awesome. I feel like some of our gaps are too big. To me, like 3 years is too big for me. Like, some people are like, that's fine, but between Izzy and Zoe was about 3 years, and that's too big. But we've had, in 9 years, we have 6 kids, but the only reason that we were able to like cram that many in there was the twins. But we have some friends of ours though. We have a friend who has four kids, and they had 4 kids in 4 years. So like, as soon as they could get pregnant, they did get pregnant immediately after each baby, like back to back to back to back, which is freaking awesome, man. If you can do that, that's the way to go. Joe, what's up? He says, hey everybody, I'm in my shop making a wah, listening. Nice. Making a wah pedal? Yeah, man, I need to get another good wah pedal. I haven't had a wah pedal in a long time. Darka says, socialization at school is Lord of the Flies on cocaine. Yeah, basically, yeah, you just like you're socialized like prison mates are socialized. Yeah, you get to learn how to make a shank. You get to learn all the different kinds of drugs and what they do. I got a really good education on that kind of stuff in public school. And I went to probably one of the best like public schools in the whole nation. So I'm kind of a spoiled brat, but at the same time, I learned a lot. I learned how to make, we call them staple guns. They weren't really staple guns. They were like those, mechanical pencils. You can take them apart in such a way where you put a staple, and you just kind of pry out one side of the staple to where it just one jagged edge, and the other side's kind of like folded in. and you could jam it in the pencil, and we figured out how to like use the mechanical pencils to like launch staples at people. That was pretty cool. That's like way cooler than a shank. Yeah, I got to learn all kinds of things about drugs. Luckily, like I'm kind of weird in that I have never done any drug in my entire life. I've never even smoked a cigarette my entire life. Never smoked pot. Never did coke. Never did anything. Because my dad was like a total deadbeat addict. I've got a lot of addicts in my family, so I just made a vow when I was about 10 years old that screw that shit. I'm never gonna do any of that. So, and I never did. So, 2 years. Durka says 2 years gap for all my kids. You have twins though, pros. Yeah, dude, we're hoping for twins again. I'm hoping for twin boys just because I've got 5 girls. I'm hoping for twin boys. It'd be awesome. Twin boys would be legit because I need some more boys. We are getting that boy dog in the next week or so. I'm excited about having a boy of some kind in the family. Even our cat's a freaking girl. So that'll be good. Jay Adams says, you're not missing out, dude. Not missing out on what? On like school stuff? I don't know. Yeah. Joe, is Joe, I think Joe's still here. I'll show Joe some nerdy stuff, some pedals. This isn't all my pedals, and it's kind of in shambles because I'm kind of resetting stuff up for recording. But, drugs. Yeah. I've never felt like I was missing out for sure. But I'm also kind of immune to peer pressure. Like I don't give a shit about what people want me to do. The more they want me to do that thing, the less that I want to do that thing. Yeah, hey, what's up? What's up, Joe, man? So this is my board right now. It's in shambles. These are my pedals, at least. Some of them are kind of old school, but dude, I'm kind of a sucker for the Memory Man. The Memory Man is legit. Oh yeah, man, you want to join the stream? Yeah, join it in, man. I think Joe might join in. What's up, Joe?
Hi.
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Let me turn it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drink coffee when I'm eating dinner with Kalena, and then I come out here and get about 2 or 3 hours more work done before I sleep.
Yeah.
It's a mess, but yeah, I like the Memory Man. I've had a couple of them. I had one of those what was it called? Hazerai?
Oh yeah. Is that
for a big time? That one was pretty cool.
Is that
I'm using the.
Is that the one with the tap tempo?
I didn't use that function. I only had it a brief time because it was worth quite a bit, and I saw the value was dropping. So I when I see things are going down, I try to get rid of them before they totally lose their value.
Right. Yeah.
Vintage Waz are falling pretty. The writing's on the wall. I need to start coming out with some of the other products I'm developing. I've made my living off of Waz since 2012. I quit my construction work in 2012, and this has been my sole income.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's great. There's a electroharmonics pedal that I just recently got. I actually bought it for the reverb. I just needed a reverb for some of my older Fender amps that don't have, reverb in them. And when I go to the jams, I like to have a reverb pedal. And I was looking on reverb.com, and I ran into this thing called the Epitome, which had a mini pog on it, upper and lower octave, and chorus. So it's like three things in one. And I was
Yeah.
really impressed with Electro Harmonics has lowered their noise floor. They used to be known for being totally noisy, but they've really cleaned up their act.
Yeah, yeah. Like the noisiness is kind of part of the charm at some point where it's like, big muffs and stuff like that. Although, I've owned, I think,
Yeah.
every version of the big muff at some point where it's like there's a Russian big muff, there's the American big muff, and kind of different versions of it. But yeah, this one.
I like them. I'm more of a fuzz-based guy, but I've had a lot of muffs over the years too. I'm old enough to know I remember when they were like $39 or $49 in the stores.
This is my favorite fuzz pedal lately. It's kind of a ripoff of the Tone Bender.
Oh yeah, I'm real familiar with those. Yeah, those are cool.
This is on pretty much everything that I do, like everything guitar-wise, everything like I put it on a lot of bass. I even put it on a lot of vocals, and it's just anything that in my music that sounds remotely fuzzy is probably sent through this thing. And I like, I'll send this thing, like on my song Western Chauvinist, I sent a guitar through the
right.
whammy, drop it down an octave, and then send it through this to get to add the fuzz. And then I won't even run it through an amp. I'll just pump it straight into the board, like Led Zeppelin style, like Black Dog style. And dude, it sounds so good.
So are you getting a little bit of that sort of almost like rap auto tune out of the whammy, kind of slightly glitching on the tracking?
At least for that song, no, because of the way that the way that I played it. I played the bass line of that whole song. So the bass line of that entire song is not even a bass; it's a guitar drop down. But I played it very palm muted, so it didn't have enough like sustain to warble out. So it was just very, it worked.
I love, if you go back into my history, I started designing pedals in like 99 or 2000, and I was sharing the schematics online. So I'm kind of semi-famous in the DIY community. There's a lot of boutique companies that started out building some of my schematics because I shared them freely online starting in 2000. And
nice.
If you look into what I've done, you can see I'm really I love stuff that sounds like it's slightly broken or sort of self-modulating in a slightly unpredictable way, so you can just kind of like play around with your finger pressure and make it just do different stuff by a really good fuzz makes you a better player because you actually have to interact with it in a really micro way on your fretboard.
Yeah, it changed. Yeah, I like stuff that changes the way that I play. I like something that I have to, especially when I'm writing music, I like to respond to the instrument, respond to the pedal, and respond even sometimes to the amp. I'm with it. How much are your wahs?
We've got stuff in the high 100s, and lately I've been really killing it in like the 250 to 400 range because I just keep doing these really artistic things. And for a long time, people weren't buying the really artistic ones. It was almost like this is just a typical progression where it took like 6 years before people started coveting the more the more artistic ones because I do a lot of stuff with the colors on the top and everything. But
oh, nice.
I've designed all my circuits. I don't really get off on just making reproductions of 60s classics, but in wahs, at least 50% of the customers are still just trying to sound like there's about 5 Hendrix songs that people quote over. Oh, I want to sound like Rainy Day Dream Away, or they'll I see those same songs over and over again.
I want the Voodoo Child. Yeah. Dirk is asking, what is a wah for? My oldest son is naturally gifted. He plays by ear. I'm always looking for cool stuff to buy him. So a wah pedal, what would be like the most like layman's term like wah pedal song? To me, I think like Voodoo Child is one of them. It just
It's on like almost every TV commercial that was ever made. I mean, it's been on so many things. Yeah,
like
yeah,
Bee Gees songs and funk songs. It's
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Anytime you hear something, that's usually a wah pedal.
Right. It came out in 1967. The only effects really that preceded it were tremolo and fuzz. But
it came out that late. I didn't realize, like,
like real early '67, and it made it onto both Cream and Hendrix's first album. So if you were in a band in 1967 and it was a cover band, you had to own a wah, and so they made millions of them just in the first 3 to 5 years. They're just everywhere right away. They took off so fast, and they kind of come and go in style. Like in the 90s, it was considered, some of the grunge guys were using them, Jerry Cantrell and stuff, but in the 90s it kind of went away for blues players, but then a lot of the blues players came back around to being more like Hendrix or Stevie Ray fans, so they all got into the wah because both those guys, Stevie Ray did it because he was a huge Hendrix freak.
Yeah. Man, I never knew that it was invented in 1967, because within a year or two, I mean, Jimi Hendrix was using it in like 68 or 69, wasn't he? I mean,
it was on his first, the summer of '67. Both Hendrix's first record came out and Disraeli Gear's came out, the first Cream record. And by the middle of '67, everybody had heard it.
It's like the guy that invented that really knew some people and knew how to market shit, because it's immediately in everyone's hands.
The rock stars used to go into the music stores and they were looking for all the latest. The music stores were really sharp. They would have the latest stuff from Vox, and in London it was Macari. So all those tone benders and stuff, that soul bender that you have is a copy of the early tone bender, or probably the tone bender Mark II is what it's based on.
Yeah.
And that came out of London. So whenever Jimmy or Clapton were in New York, they'd go to Manny's or Sam Ash, but usually Manny's, and it wasn't unusual to see that, like Pete Townsend used to go in there all the time. So they were all looking for the latest stuff because they wanted to have the coolest new sounds on their record.
Dude, I would love to get an original tone bender or a tone bender Mark II or whatever. That's the Led Zeppelin pedal, man. That's like on all. Yeah. Like Led Zeppelin 1, 2, probably even Led Zeppelin 3 were all that. Actually, right. Dude, I want to show you this. You're like one of the few people on Instagram that would even like know what the hell this is. I'll turn the light on here, but I've got this amp.
Yeah.
It's a Supro from 1965.
Yeah, that's great.
It's a model, whatever you call it, a model 24. It's allegedly the Jimmy Page amp. But
yeah.
There are a couple Supros that claim to be the amp. No one really knew for sure which one it was, but
yeah, and I don't get it. I have a lot more. I have a lot more to do than sit around and try to be a historian. I have a lot of people who like email me like info about things. If I ever have a question, I've got certain people I can ask, but I never sit around and try to figure out. People will ask me, "Oh, what did Hendrix use on this?" or "What did Clapton do?" And I don't spend time trying to dig all that history up. But those Supros are great. I think that was probably made by Valco, which also made airline amps about that time.
Yeah, I have another Valco amp right here. This is from so this one's from 1965 original, and this one is from 1948. It's a Harmony.
Wow.
It's also made by Valco, and it has a 10-inch speaker, so it's kind of a smaller speaker. And then this is back when they had the controls. I guess the other one has controls on the back too, but all the amps back then like didn't have like front-facing controls. They were all like rear-facing, because I guess to me what I've heard is like they would put their amps not behind them, but the guitar players would have the amps in front of them in the front of the stage, because they didn't have
Well, they didn't know. That's what it was like, well, the audience is out there, so we're going to put it as close to the audience as we can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
some of those late 40s, early 50s amps just have a magic to them that's just, there's something about the parts they used back then. It's crazy. I haven't played one of those harmonies, but everything I've played from that era has a certain harmonic complexity that you just don't get. Even by 57, 58, some of that magic was gone. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this one definitely has the magic. This is a lot more on my like first album. I have a song, She Can Count the Days, where it's very like bluesy, guitar driven kind of thing, and I put it all over that record. But yeah, like you can just play you can just play a Chuck Berry riff and you're like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. It just makes more sense coming out of that amp than any other amp.
Well, I haven't heard a lot of your stuff, but what I have heard, the guitar tones on what I heard, I have a lot of respect for all of your musicality. You have a great voice. I like your chord progressions, and your guitar playing and your guitar tones were great on everything I heard.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, I'm a Ty Richards fan.
Thanks, man. I need to get me one of them wahs. I haven't even touched a wah pedal in maybe 5 years, and I think it might be time to bring it back.
I didn't have one I got into it kind of the wrong way around. I wasn't into them either. We toured for 8 years, and I had one for maybe a couple months, and I didn't play one when we were doing it. You know, I didn't get into it till after I kind of got out of the live scene.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just more fun for sitting around the house, but yeah.
Yeah.
Going back to the Big Muff thing, I kind of retired from the pedal business for a while in the late 2000s. My first company, I kind of ran it into the ground and had to go back to construction. And there was a kid here in Albuquerque, he was a kid at the time. He found all my schematics online and then found out that I lived in Albuquerque, and he kept calling me up saying, hey, are you ever going to get back into pedals? I set up a bench for you at my shop, you know, if you'd come over and just hang out, you know. And I ended up getting an injury to my hand. I cut a tendon on one of my left-hand fingers. So I had a little bit of recovery time, so I finally took him up on it. And the first thing we did, he had a whole bunch of Big Muff schematics, and I hadn't really messed with building one. But I sat down with the schematic, and I just started crossing off parts, because one of my big things is to try to do as much as possible with as few parts as possible. And he was about 22 at the time. And he was like, are you sure about this? We should just build one stock first and then go from there. I go, nope, trust me. And I really did. I cut out about 40% of the components, maybe more. And the first time we fired it up, it was just a roaring monster. It had a lot more articulation. You could still hear the pick attack a lot more than a normal Big Muff. And I've got videos of it from that exact day that we did it. So from then on, he really trusted me when I sat down with a schematic and just started doing stuff. Yeah. But I'll send you the link to that video, because it's 2010. If you look at my picking hand, you'll see my middle finger's all swollen because I had cut that finger, and it was like a couple days after I had cut it, and they didn't operate on the tendon for like 3 weeks later. So my finger was all swollen if you look in the video. Pretty funny.
Oh,
yeah, I really should have. They told me not to be like doing stuff when I was in the in-between waiting to have my hand operated on. They said, don't do anything. Don't, just take it easy. But I was excited to play that pedal. So I played it that night.
Nice. Hey, what part of the country are you in?
Albuquerque.
Oh, Albuquerque. Nice. Yep.
Yeah. So when we used to play Texas, we were really home based out of Dallas. We had a family we stayed with down there a lot. We would come down to Texas about 8 times a year. We'd book our whole year would be centered around Hole in the Wall in Dallas. We only did Hole in the Wall in Austin one time, but we really, because we were a blues rock band, we did a lot better in Dallas than we did in Austin. We did come to Austin a lot, but Dallas was a lot better for us. And we had, we had about 10 cities in Texas we used to hit pretty regularly. It was a lot better, coming down there than staying in New Mexico. We played a lot more out of state than we did here in our state.
Yeah.
Couldn't get arrested in our own state. We were ostracized because we weren't accepted by the blues purists here in Albuquerque. They'd have these big blues festivals, Meanwhile, we're going out and representing New Mexico to a 4-state area, and we couldn't get arrested in our own town, or they wouldn't have us on the festivals or anything. It was, you know that story.
Yeah. I mean, why? Because like you weren't true to the
Yeah, we were. Our CDs were. We kind of tried to feature our. Yeah, we featured our songwriting on our CDs, so it was not pure blues. There was some. It was all over the place, you know. And they had these rules about, they wanted to keep it pure, which I can respect that too. But
yeah,
when we especially toward the end, we started realizing that what people wanted to hear in a blues bar or in a bar was, we started doing less and less, not more of our blues originals, but we had to give up all the originals that had, vocal harmonies and all that stuff, because it just wasn't going over the same way a really good shuffle would go over.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of got us ostracized from Austin, because Austin was in a big they were trying to shed their blues image, so they were almost like anti-blues at the time.
Really? When was that? Like what?
We started in '98 and then went through 2003 for Texas.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I feel like it's kind of gone the other way. It just depends on like what circles in Austin you're in, but the blues bands that I have seen in Austin are very true blues bands.
Yeah. Well, we held our own. We were the world's only double neck left-handed band. So we had a visual element, and my brother's a great slide player. We traded off bass and guitar, and that's why we had the double necks. And
nice.
I'm a pretty. I was and am a pretty accomplished blues player, like a real blues player. And Tim was a really good slide player, so we kind of covered both ends of that. And we really believed in putting on a show too, which helped. And going to Texas really taught us a lot about how to put on a show, because people are serious down there. Great.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like Austin is I don't know, man. It's an empty shell of a music scene right now.
I was conservative. I was conservative back then. My brother wasn't. In fact, we were polar opposites, as far as politically and philosophically. But I could already see that Austin was going down the shitter, even in 2000, 2001. It was losing it. I could see it.
Yeah, I mean,
I was already cynical about it that long ago. I could see it all happening.
Well, see, all the good musicians, all of the I see musicians in kind of two different realms. I think there's professional musicians, and then there's kind of like hobby musicians. And all the professional musicians in Austin don't live in Austin anymore, because you can't actually make money professionally you used to be able to make at least like a halfway decent living.
Right.
Now you just can't. So they all live in Pflugerville, and they all live on the outskirts of Austin because they can't afford.
What's that? Round Rock?
Yeah, Round Rock, Pflugerville, all that stuff around Austin. And they, you have to, if you're a full-time musician, because gigs just don't pay what they used to anymore, and the market's completely saturated with hobby bands, and these bookers love to book all these shitty hobby bands. And meanwhile, like, the hobby band's like, sweet, I'm getting paid anything, this is awesome. And while
plus if it's somebody that's got a day job, they're going to invite everybody from their job, so they'll pack the club like the first 3 or 4 times they play there, and the club owners can't discern why they drew a crowd, but that's in reality what's going on sometimes.
Well, and a lot of these clubs just have built-in crowds. There's going to be a crowd there regardless of what band is there. And so they're like, yeah, of course I'm going to pay this band $100 or whatever to do, it's just, professional musicians can't even walk out the door and make $50 or $100 these days. They're So it's a total joke. Even before I was banned from Austin, because I'm actually blacklisted from all the clubs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Overall.
yeah, I'm pretty familiar with all that. Yeah, well, in your case, yeah.
But even before then, I hated playing the clubs because it's just it sucks from every angle. Like the culture sucks because you just get the shadiest of the shadiest people. You're having to like basically walk over. I am walking over human feces to get to the clubs because they've got that like homeless shelter right there in the middle of the club scene, and I'm like trying
that
to
wasn't that bad by the time we got out of it. That hadn't quite gotten like that back then. I don't remember too many homeless down there.
Yeah, it's bad now. So it's like it's one of those things like we would park here and the gig was here. We would kind of like go this long way around so that I'm walking with my wife to like go all the way around to get to the club because I don't want to go down that one street. So it's pretty bad. But then on top of that, just they don't. The pay is total crap. They're the clubs are exploiting these hobby bands because they don't want to pay the legit bands, and it's just a bad deal all the way around for everybody.
Did you catch the Roosh V Owen Wilson from 4 days ago, 5 days ago?
Okay, so I saw half of it. I still need to watch the other half of it, but the half that I saw was awesome.
I wasn't that familiar with him, but I know his reputation. I knew of him, but I've never like watched his streams or read his blogs or anything. It was so cool to see an outsider come in and just get so lit up by the farm, the revelations that he's been having in his life are so awesome to hear. He's a very articulate guy, he's a brilliant thinker. But he was talking about like all the cities have basically gone to hell because of really the homeless. I don't know if it's a symptom or if it's the actual cause, but the way you can tell if a city is really going down is the homeless. And Albuquerque has a Democrat mayor, we have a Democrat governor, and our mayor is constantly having these press events where he's touting some new bullshit thing where he's going to try to bring business or more gay crosswalks to Albuquerque. And meanwhile, our homeless population has tripled or quadrupled since 2015. And so if we don't address that, we're not going to attract anything to this city. They're just whistling past the graveyard.
Well, it's kind of a microcosm version of what's happening in the entire country, like for our whole nation.
Right.
But yeah, when you go into individual cities and you see these crazy homeless problems that are getting noticeably worse, like there seems to be more homeless people than there ever was, and the homeless people that are there are like, there's just even more feces, even more litter, even more diseases coming in, all this stuff. It's kind of a microcosm version of the macro version of what's happening in our nation, because like in a city, when you say that it's okay to tent camp on the street, well, word gets out pretty fast. These kind of transient dudes will be like, "Hey man, I heard in Austin you can just camp anywhere." I'm like, "All right. I'll freaking hitchhike to the next state and then go live there," and then just multiply that by hundreds and hundreds. And when you have a sanctuary city, and I'm not even talking about immigrants, I'm just talking about homeless dudes who are U.S. citizens. When you have a sanctuary city,
my sister just joined.
What? Oh,
my sister just joined. That's awesome. How you doing, Sherry?
Nice, Sherry. How you doing? And I saw, my buddy, Hugs for Freedom joined too. He said,
"Yeah, I saw that."
He said the homelessness is certainly a symptom of unchecked Democrat policy. Yeah, you can definitely see it in every Democratic run city is, I think, the worst. I think I don't know what cities aren't. I feel like every major city is democratically, even in Dallas, Fort Worth. I don't know about Fort Worth, but Dallas is definitely like.
Yeah, I'm sure it's, yeah. And I get impatient with people who, and even Owen says it sometimes, like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter. It's, you know, Republicans and Democrats are the same. But there is with these kind of issues, the cities that have the biggest problems are just the ones that have all been Democrat run for 20, 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah,
it's statistically undeniable. So to say there's no difference between the two parties it's looking at it way too simplistically. You have to actually look at the stats.
I think there are differences, but I think the commonality to remember for me is that really, to me, Republicans are Democrats, but in slow motion.
Yeah.
So they're just moving at a slower pace in the same direction as Democrats.
Well, I know it's true. We had a Republican mayor for 2 terms in this city, and one of the biggest things he did while he just turned out to be just like another Democrat. And one of the biggest things he did was do a $91 million project wrecking Central Avenue, which is our Route 66. That's our only real, you know, historic part of Albuquerque. It's the only cool part of Albuquerque. And he tried to run this electric bus thing up through the middle of it. The buses came in and they don't even run. We had to return 20 buses back to the manufacturer. It was all just a big grab for federal dollars. And all we got from the feds was $10 million. So he put the city on the hook for $91 million for this thing that's basically put a ton of businesses out of business up and down that whole street.
Man.
It's madness. It's madness.
And that's just, to me, that's what it is. It's like, it's not even, like, I think we do need to, like, call out Democrats and call out Republicans. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's like big government versus small government is, to me, the better way to look at it. And when you try to throw a bunch of money at a problem, it usually doesn't solve it, especially with the government, because the way the government contracts work, like, I've had government contracts, like my mom had a company where they had government contracts, and I have friends that get any government, like my mom, for example, my mom and my biological father, before they divorced, they ran a sign company. And when you make a vinyl sign for someone, they would make like little, you know, you'd have those like glass doors and you're printing the vinyl name onto the glass door. They could charge like they would charge a person like X amount of dollars. But if it was like a government agency or like a courthouse or anything like that, you should automatically charge at least 10 times more. And that's not, because that's just how government contracts work. Like, everyone knows you can charge 10 times more for the same exact freaking thing, at least.
Right.
I bet you there are like, war contracts for like missiles and planes and shit that I'm sure they're like 1,000 times more than they would charge a private customer or something that wants a jet built or something. Yeah,
I know it's weird how you find out this stuff just because you just happen to know somebody who's in a business that gets affected or is close to it. I get my laser etching done by a shop that's like a trophy shop would have been in the old days. They have a laser engraving and all that stuff. And if you look at their showroom and the Cadillac that the owner drives, she's a lesbian, which is only a little part of the story, but it's actually part of the story. They've been doing my work since 2011 or 2012. I started having them do all my work, and something didn't add up. Like the amount of, there's never anybody over there. There's never anything really going on. But yet they've got this really fancy showroom. Just like nothing made any sense. There seemed like a whole bunch of money, but no work.
Yeah.
And then just coincidentally, a really good friend of mine was one of the civilian. He was actually in charge of all the properties on the base. We have an Air Force base here, Kirtland. And he told me that one of his bosses or coworkers was a lesbian, and she got in trouble because she was sending $200,000 a year worth of contracts over to the place where I get my stuff done. And he didn't even know that he didn't know that I knew them. But all of a sudden it all made sense. It's a government boondoggle because they were making like, who knows, keychains. Like, how do you spend $200,000 for like little trinkets every year for your employees? It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. No, yeah. so there's one government contract that I almost got last year, and um, this is back when I was kind of more in Austin's good graces. But I was so I run an agency called Paradox, a creative agency. So I do design work,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I was asked to do a bid for a like create an estimate for a proposal.
And a half or something before it just boots me. Let's see if I can get Joe back on. Yeah, Joe's a badass. I like Joe a lot. I'm always like chatting back and forth with him on Instagram for I feel like it's been years. What's up, man? Hey, yeah, join in again, Joe. Sorry, I ran out of time and it bumped me off. Um, you can feel free to jump in if you want, unless you need to take off. But yeah, man, what I was saying was I had a was gonna do an estimate for a government related thing. It was Austin City of Commerce. They had asked me and a company I was partnered with to. Yeah, man. Get back to the gridiron, man. I'm just distracting you. You guys are just distracting me from sleep too. I need to go to sleep, but yeah, I just want to finish that thought though. I mean, so we were talking about how yeah, let's geek out more. I need to do more of that because I'm recording more and more. I need to be in that world more. Libs are bad, says sleep is gay. Yeah, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But yeah, we were talking about how like government contracts you can get paid like 10 times more than for regular things in the private sector. So it's like if I'm doing this is an example where I was asked to create a proposal where maybe like the most I would ever charge someone in the private sector for like designing a proposal. I'm basically designing a PDF. It's almost like designing a PowerPoint presentation. You know, I might, on the high end, I might be charging someone like, and this is maybe for like a big company or something, I might charge 5, 10, 15, 20 for the most extravagant one ever. Maybe, dude, 30 grand would be like the most insane one ever. But for government, so for Austin City of Commerce, my estimate, which rivaled someone else's estimate too. This other guy, other company ended up winning. It was like, I think it was it ended up being the biggest estimate I've ever created. I think, and it was for it was I think $120,000 to just create a proposal. And this is a proposal for Amazon. So this was Austin's pitch to Amazon for like, hey, Amazon, pick Austin as your second headquarters, that HQ2 proposal thing. So I was like gonna be the dude. I was like in the running with one other company to be the dude to design that proposal that was going to be sent to Amazon to try to woo them to be in our city. The same one that AOC. So New York City won that bid that I was going to be helping with. So New York City is the city who actually won, and then AOC shut it down and got Amazon ousted. It's hilarious. Yeah, that was when I was, I was partnered with a really well known publicist here in town, and that's all I'll say about that. Amazon is in my city. It's just an excuse to bring in foreign workers. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I know that like a lot of those like Amazon offices and stuff, probably at least 5 or 10,000 jobs for each one. As Jesse Lee Peterson would say, wow, that's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. That's exactly how he says it. What's up, Jay Adam? I don't know what you guys want to talk about, man. I need to go to bed. I gotta wake up in like I'm gonna wake up and run and get some work done. Amazing. Amazing. That's right. Yeah, I need to head to bed now, but it's good hanging out with you guys. You have anything else you want to talk about? How was your day? Grizzly Bear shouted out the Bears on JLP's show today. Grizzly Bear? Is Grizzly Bear a, you know, an Owen Benjamin Bear, or are you talking about Grizzly Bear the band? There's no way Grizzly Bear the band was on JLP. They seem like they're definitely liberal. I like the band Grizzly Bear. I like that band a lot. To me, they're a really good band. I'm just guessing because they're a good band that they're probably liberal, though. What do you think about... Yeah, I don't know who Grizzly Bear is, other than the band. But they're a very good band. They're probably one of my favorite bands. What do you think about fried chicken, Kool-Aid, and watermelon? Um, fried fried chicken is awesome. I'd eat that all day, every day. Kool-Aid, I've never been a huge fan of. I'm more of a Dr. Pepper kind of guy. And watermelon's gross, man. Watermelon is disgusting. It's and also it's nothing at the same time. It's like eating nothing. It's like if you could eat water. It's watermelon is an appropriate name because you're just eating water. Like I don't want to eat water. I want to eat food. I want to eat steak. Pretty sure it was Owen's Bears because he referenced it a couple times. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know Grizzly Bear. I'll have to check out that guy. I find that I'm just way more likely to like a bear than someone who's not a bear. But there are some like retarded bears too. Monica, what you mean? Libs Are Bad just wants me to say the word nigger. That's really what it comes down to. And I did. There you go. It's a word. If you're offended by words at this point, you got problems. You got problems. Getting back to Amazon a sec. Yeah, Amazon. Man, I feel like I've got a love-hate. I think everyone has the love-hate relationship with Amazon. The support is so good. We just signed up for Amazon Prime again. I like nixed my Amazon account a few months ago, and now we're just with all this homeschool stuff and like we're shipping a lot of books for homeschool. We're shipping a lot of supplements for Emily for her like prenatal vitamins and stuff like that. So we went back. I went crawling back to them. I kind of just want to like bite the bullet. It's like I'd rather like pay a couple $100 extra to like not support the beast. I definitely feel like I'm being a hypocrite. Amazon, just I don't. Yeah, I think I wrote a post about this week on on my website tyrichards.com about stop supporting liars, like support what you love, stop supporting who hates you. And maybe Amazon loves me in some ways, but they hate me in other ways. But yeah, dude, I mean they censor a lot of stuff on Amazon. They censor a lot of stuff that I would like to see, like all the anti-vax documentaries that are on there. They take them down. They take down. They took down all books. I didn't know this until recently. They took down all books related to conversion therapy for homosexuals. And to me, that's hilarious because the big case against conversion therapy is that doesn't work. So if it doesn't work, why are you going to take the books down? Like, the books just aren't going to sell or they aren't going to do anything and no one's going to care. Why do you, if they don't work, why do you need to ban the books about it? And I've looked into it. It's called repair. I think the more correct name for it is reparative therapy. Some guy, Nicholas, I can't remember his last name. He's in California. Look up like Nicholas reparative therapy, California. This guy, he's been doing it for like 20 years or more. Like, I think he's doing it for a long time, but I think he has like a 100% rate of reparative therapy. Like, every every guy that goes to him, and there's girls too, every guy and girl that goes to him for reparative therapy walks away a straight person. And the theory, there's just a lot of things about homosexuality that are myths. That people think that if you're gay forever. If you struggle with homosexuality, then you'll always struggle with it. They think that you're born that way, and that's not true at all. There's just so many like myths about it that people buy into because, yeah. God. Libs are bad. Thank you. Yeah. Libs are bad is just saying, dance, monkey, dance. Joe says, I believe Amazon is going to be undermined by their arrogance and lack of logos. Yeah, in the end, that's always how it is. In the end, you get bit in the ass by your own lack of honesty and your own lack of truth. Maybe not destroyed, but their growth will slow, which is important in my opinion. Yeah, I think all these companies are going to get broken up in the end, especially Google. I think they're going to get broken up into separate companies because of the monopolies that they have. And I've changed my tune on that stuff. I used to be very much like capitalism, let the market correct. Capitalism rules. Let the market decide. But there's a certain point when big corporations become a form of government. They're not only colluding with the government, with big government, but they kind of like take on a form of a government. It's like when Instagram is banning people and like they're basically enforcing laws and kind of taking on this like governmental kind of thing. Which they're their own company, they can do whatever they want, but that's all the more reason to actually build your own. I think people should build their own platforms and join alternative platforms. Yeah, I no longer believe in like capitalism as the like one true savior of everything. I think it's good. I think there's a lot of good things about it for sure, but I don't like consider myself, I think I used to consider myself a capitalist, and now I do not consider myself a capitalist because I see the flaws in it that are not even just flaws. Like there's some seriously screwed up, fucked up stuff about it. It doesn't even compare to socialism and communism, but still, it's still there. So psyched about Vox's legal angle. Yeah, man, he's Vox Day. Vox Day's legal stuff. He's showing how surprisingly easy it is to take down, to win court battles against corporations and also against even Gavin McInnes too, to win court battles against nonprofits too. It's huge, man. More people are going to start doing this, man. Like now that I'm seeing this. Vox Day is I don't know if it's gonna fully happen or not. Like but I think there's a chance that Vox Day might actually put Indiegogo out of business. They took down one of his fundraisers. He raised $30,000 for, or $30,000 or $40,000 for some one of the many things that he does. I don't know if it was a book. It was either his comics or a book. I think it was the comics. Yeah, it was Alt Hero Comics. And the next day they raised the money on another platform. In one day they raised the 30 grand again. And then he got all of his backers to go and collectively sue Indiegogo, and they're getting their asses handed to them. It's so badass. Dude, Vox Day is a freaking legend. Libs Are Bad says, I wonder if Amazon has Mein Kampf. Dude, they totally have Mein Kampf. You can buy Mein Kampf anywhere. You can buy Mein Kampf at freaking Starbucks, dude. Not banned. Joe says, Vox has crystallized a lot of thoughts I've been having since the mid 2000s, even though I only found him this year. Yeah, I'm pretty new to Vox. I've been following Vox maybe 9 or 10 months, like almost a year, going on a year. He freaking rules. But yeah, the other thing was like Gavin McInnes, man. He sued SPLC, and I don't think he's allowed to like really talk about it. So he's been very like not talking about it. But you know, within the same like couple of months of him suing SPLC, the whole organization has imploded, dude. They decide everything. Like SPLC they're the ones who make the rules for Facebook and for Instagram and for Google and Amazon and all these companies. They draw up the guidelines for what hate speech is, what hate groups are, all of that stuff. They're the deciders of all those things. So since Gavin has sued them, what has transpired within 2 months of him doing that stuff, and I don't know if he directly or indirectly caused this, but when you sue someone, a lot of times you can do what's called discovery. And I think they discovered some crap, dude. I think Gavin's legal team discovered some serious crap. Because now Morris Dees, the founder, since the 60s or whenever SPLC was founded, he is allegedly raped his own daughter. And so he was fired from the SPLC. And then within a week of that, the president who fired the founder, the president, what's his name? Something Cohen, Richard Cohen, I think. He resigned, and then within a day, I think that same day, the head of legal resigned. So that whole organization is imploding. I mean, it's not even imploding. It's it's basically dead. And all three of those individuals too, the founder, the president, the head of legal, they all I'm just saying the facts, because facts don't care about your feelings. They all happen to wear very small hats. They just happen to. What do you think about Bay's Texan Bear? Dude, I don't want to get into that, man. That's like some gay ass drama. I think Bay's Texan Bear is being a little bit of a bitch, being a little bit of a fag, because yeah, it's just, I like Bay's Texan Bear too. I'm saying that as kind of like a brotherly love. Like that's what I would tell my brother if he was acting that way. I'd be like, dude, you're being a fag. Cut it out. It all started over like Nimmer related stuff, and he wouldn't take a side on Nimmer or something, and I don't know, some bullshit related to that, because his story with Nimmer was like, well, that's between Owen and Nimmer, and I'm not about picking sides usually either in a divorce or a thing. It's like your divorced friends get divorced and you don't want to pick sides. But dude, Nimmer was a straight up crook, man. He stole Owen Benjamin's bike. He took thousands of dollars from Owen Benjamin. He lied about having cancer to get huge amounts of money from Owen, and he lied about being being in the military. So stolen valor plus lying about cancer plus thousands of dollars of fraud. Like he could totally sue Nimmer if he like hands down. So to me, like there is no side. Like the side is I'm on the side of the guy who is not a thief. And but yeah, so he says, you know, that's between Owen and Nimmer. That's a private matter, basically. And then, meanwhile, he's putting all these private text messages of Owen Benjamin up, saying, "Look at Owen Benjamin and how he was mean to me." Like that actually is between you and Owen. Like, ironically, what he says about Nimmer is actually true about his own situation. That's actually between you and Owen, bro. Like, no one cares or thinks about the fact that you killed your own baby with an abortion. And no one cares that Owen said that to you privately. Yeah, it was mean, but you, like, Base Texan Bear publicly denounced Owen like a week ago or like 4 or 5 days ago. And after he, you know, is publicly being, you know, bitching about Owen, and then Owen sends him a text message saying, "Dude, you're being an asshole, man. What's the problem?" And he kind of extended the olive branch, and then when he didn't hear anything back from him, he was like, "Yeah, dude, if you're gonna say that I'm a liar and say that I'm, you know," he just when Owen gets punched, he punches back 10 times as hard, because that's what you should do. That's what real men should do. If someone punches me, I'm gonna punch them back 10 times harder, and that's the appropriate response. And so he said, "Yeah, you're being all, you know, all judgmental about me. You're the one who killed your own baby, dude." So to me, that's appropriate. And he didn't say it publicly. He didn't publicly trash, you know, Base Texan Bear, but Owen, it didn't stop Base Texan Bear from taking that text message, putting it on his Instagram for all to see, so everyone knows that he killed his own baby, and is in some kind of weird denial about it, and is mad that Owen Benjamin jabbed him with it. Like, dude, you knew what you were getting into, man. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, to me, Base Texan Bear made himself out to be a liar, because he's saying he's always like I've followed him on Instagram for a while. I've always thought he was a great guy, and even today I had a great conversation with him today on one of my posts, and I still think he's a good guy, but I think he's wizarding himself, and I think that will happen when you murder your own baby. Like, talk to anyone who has an abortion, like, they can't really fully deal with it head on. It's a level of sin that most of us can't even freaking fathom. I can't fathom it. I'm not claiming to fathom it. I'm just saying I've seen it in my friends that have had abortions, that you just, when somebody's saying, "Dude, you killed your own child," like that no one can face that. It's almost impossible for people to face it, that kind of monstrosity. But yeah, that's I guess what I think about it. It's just kind of gay. Libs are bad says capitalism is gay. We need to go back to kingdoms. Hey, that's kind of an interesting idea. Kingdoms, yeah. I'll have to think about that one, because I've given a little bit of thought to that. You know, obviously, like, tyrannical kings are bad. That's why America started. But at the same time, like, we live in a tyrannical government. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. I donated to Gavin's legal fund. Yeah, I did too, man. That's awesome, Joe. It was all hero comment. Dude, I'm like way behind on the chat. He said Base was acting privileged. He was acting super like Owen's a celebrity and he owes this to us because we are his peasants and we are his peons, and he doesn't get that Owen treats everyone like an equal. Like Owen is just says he just talks to people point blank, and he's making a case against that based on one of his conversations with him, but it's just not how Owen operates. He threw a fit when Owen wouldn't publicize his charity family he's helping. Yeah, that was definitely an entitled thing. And then he like publicly denounced him being a bitch about it. And then Owen like it was one of those things like Owen gets like 1 gajillion messages per day. So he actually doesn't see all the messages. He does miss stuff. And I get that because I'm the same way. Like a lot of people I don't get back to. I'm like not able to get back to. It's like once you get to a certain amount of like busyness. So yeah, and Owen, I think Owen Benjamin did actually want to help out that family, and then Base Texan went and pulled this random shit with this post a few days ago, and now he's like, dude, I can't help that family out now because if I do that, it's gonna set an example of like people who shit talk me get money, which is a good point. I wouldn't do that either. He was a straight up con man. Nimmer. I gotta dig further into this. I'm like way too behind here. Those two texts were 30 minutes of within each other. Okay. Not much time for Base Texan Bear to respond. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, what Owen Benjamin said was fucking hardcore for sure. But at this point, the guy had already publicly shamed him. Had already like publicly shamed Owen, like 4 days before that. Get it punched. The left says, "Help, police." Yeah, maybe so. Joe says Base had been stirring shit in other bear streams in the past month or so. I think he's an okay guy. I mean, he's a freaking farmer, dude, you know? Dude, the health clinic we went to tried to push us to have an abortion. Yeah, hooligan, I hear you, man. That's what they do. That's their job is to do that because that's how they make money. And they're not just making money from you. They're making money selling the fetus, dude. That's why they want to do like post-birth abortions because they can get even more money with like a 1-day-old baby. That's what they have in New York, and that's what they're working on in Virginia too. They said our son had markers that pointed to brain issues. Dude, they want any excuse. They could have brain issues. He could have Down syndrome. They could have this. They could have any. We think they could have this genetic issue. And so we want to kill your baby to get money. People don't realize that there's money to be made on dead babies, like insane money. I think one fetus at like third trimester, I think is like, I don't know, it's like $50,000 or something like that. I begged my ex to not abort, that I would love our son, disability or not. Yeah, man, dude, that's heartbreaking. Here we are. He just turned 6, and he's healthy as ever and smart as a whip. No medical issues at all. Dude, that's freaking amazing. I love that. Abortion is there's no way around it. There's no way that it's not murder. Like it's in the face of all science, all morality, all everything. Like no matter how you slice it, it's murder. Hello, I'm Brazilian. What's up, Brazilian? Pedro, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining. Dude, how far am I? Okay, I'm not too far behind. How many is that in freedom units? Brazil's getting pretty based, man. Their president, I forget his name. He's pretty hardcore, and I like that. they started implementing LGBT stuff in Brazilian schools, and immediately the president of the country is like, "We're getting rid of all of that immediately and just burn it, burn the books." I saw Nimmer open for Owen last December. Something seemed off. Yeah, I didn't see it. That was like around the time where I was like really getting, where I really started getting into Owen Benjamin. And yeah, he went on that tour with Nimmer. I don't know if I saw it because I didn't know the whole backstory of Nimmer as much. I learned about the story kind of after the fact. So Pedro says, "Sorry, my English." K K K K. It's a good thing there are just four Ks there. Libs are bad. You're in the KKK. I think we have a KKK member. Sweet. A Brazilian KKK member. Is that even possible? No, man. I'm Brazilian. I'm from Alagoas. Nice, dude. I've got a lot of Brazilian fans. Just of music stuff. When I ran my first like Facebook campaign, um, like I ran like a Facebook ad campaign, and I ended up getting like a ton of fans in Brazil. Um, my first album sounds a lot like Beck, and I think, dude, Brazilians freaking love Beck. Brazilians and Mexicans and Guatemalans, they freaking love Beck. I like Beck. He's Scientologist. That's kind of weird, but I almost don't see him as a full Scientologist because his parents were Scientologists. So it's kind of like yeah, my parents were Catholic or my parents were Mormon. I feel like it always kind of gets like watered down the next generation. So maybe he's not like full on retarded Scientologist. So you don't like Bolsonaro? Bolsonaro? Why? I'm curious. Like as a native Brazilian, Pedro, why don't you like Bolsonaro? Lives are bad says there are black KKK members. Why not Brazilian? There are no black KKK members unless you've just been watching too much fucking Chappelle Show. Chappelle Show, that's the greatest episode of Chappelle Show ever is the Black Klansman. And Dave Chappelle plays the Klansman, and he says something like he's like just going off on like let's feed your hate, let your hate, and he's wearing his hood the whole time, just let your hate out, and and everyone's getting excited and clapping and like, oh, you want me to take my hood off, and then they're like, yeah, take it off. It's like, no. He's like, yeah, take it off, he's like, okay, you want me to take the hood off? I'll take it off. And he takes it off, and it's just Dave Chappelle, and he's blind. So he's a blind black Klansman, and as soon as he takes it off, people just, and one guy's head explodes, and just blood everywhere. It's freaking awesome. And at the end of the fake documentary, because it was supposed to be like Frontline or Nightline or one of those things. It's like, and he's like, and Clyde, whatever his name is, he immediately divorced his wife because he said, he's a black blind Klansman, but he divorced his wife because he said she was a nigger lover. And I guess the premise was he was black his whole life, but no one ever told him he was black. So he didn't know he was black until that day. Until that day that he took his hood off. Everyone said he was too important to the movement. I feel like that was like some kind of prophecy because now people are saying like Proud Boys and all these other people are that it's like the KKK, like they're white supremacists. When like half the Proud Boys are Mexican. They just did a whole special. They had my song in it too. Vice, total faggots run Vice. This like lesbian Mexican lady does this whole long documentary piece on Proud Boys in Miami, and it's all there's like two white guys in the whole group. It's all Mexicans and Cubans, but it's mostly like Cuban Americans. And dude, those guys are way more based than any of the Proud Boys that I even know. They just, dude, they're hardcore. It's so funny because they're gonna kind of get their wish. They always said that Proud Boys was a gang, and it was never a gang. It was more like a drinking club. You just get together, hang out, and talk about how awesome Trump is. That's all it ever was. But now you've got actual freaking Cubans involved in it. Like it's like it's going to actually get to gang status now in a hilarious way. And now people are saying that like, yeah, they're Cuban Americans, but they're white supremacists. It's multiracial white supremacy. So retarded. Um Let's see. Yeah, that's enough of that. There is no such thing as multiracial white supremacy. That is a Dave Chappelle skit. It's not freaking real. You're retarded if you think that that's a thing. Joe says, love Beck's music. Dude, Beck is one of my favorite artists. He's just a total badass. He's just a total weirdo, totally creative. He's one of the few weirdos who's actually like made it into the mainstream and still doing awesome. Ty, I gotta jump off. Yeah, man, good to see you, hooligan. Range day, sweet. Super creative. Thanks, hooligan. Hooligan says, I'm older than you, but I look up to you a lot, man. Love you and your family. Much love. Dude, thanks, man. That means a lot. To me, it's more, I do feel older than I am. I'm only 32, but I feel like 60. I relate to 60-year-olds way more than I relate to, uh, you know, the losers of my own generation. Chappelle. So Libs Are Bad says Chappelle is a nigger. He doesn't steal bikes though, just jokes. He did steal Owen Benjamin's joke. He stole the joke that basically got Owen Benjamin banned everywhere. But when Dave Chappelle says it, he's awesome. When when Owen Benjamin makes a joke about the gays, he gets banned from an entire career, an entire civilization. When Chappelle says the same exact joke, not even the same premise, basically just the same joke, he gets praised. What do you gringos think of Brazil? Um I think I don't know. I've never been to Brazil. I've been to Zambia, Africa. I've been a lot of places in the world, but I've never been to Brazil. I think I think the same thing that I think about a lot of countries, including my own. Just watch out for AIDS. Watch out for weird ass diseases and shit. That sounds super racist, but that's actually what I think. As someone who has 6 kids, I'm like, should I go over there with my 6 kids? Nah, I'm good. I don't want them to die. Libs are bad says Brazil is scary. I've seen so many murder or torture videos from there. Why are you watching torture videos, dude? There's not a shortage of torture videos to be found on the internet. At this point, you're doing it to yourself if you're watching torture videos. I watched probably like 2 or 3 ISIS beheading videos before I'm like, all right, I think I'm done watching this kind of thing forever. I think it's kind of like watching Passion of the Christ. You kind of only need to see it once. You're like, all right, I watched it. Jesus died big time. All right, I don't think I need to watch that again. But it's a good thing he came back, you know. Joe says I'm 59. Yeah. Respect your elders, Joe. I feel about 60. So if you're only as old as you feel. Pedro says, yes, the country is usually very violent. So that's accurate. That's not a stereotype. Like as someone who lives there, you're saying it is very violent. And so that's accurate. Pedro says, my city and neighborhood okay, they highlight the violence. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm sorry to hear that though. I mean, to me it's like I feel as someone who's been to countries like Brazil, like going to Zambia. I went to Zambia for a month a while back, and dude, I know how good people have it in America. Like I know how we're all just a bunch of spoiled dipshits basically because we basically have infinite food, infinite jobs, infinite money, in comparison. Of course, we're gonna find something to complain about, but yeah. Libs are bad says torture videos were fun to watch before or during lunch. Yeah, it's like I watch one every night before I go to bed. All right, I need to go. Speaking of going to bed, I need to go to bed right now, man. I gotta wake up early and get shit done. It's good hanging out with you guys. Anything else you want to hit before? I don't know, man. I'm gonna go off on rants forever if I don't. I'm gonna go ahead and not go to Brazil ever. I'll leave that to Roosh. Roosh can go to Brazil, and he did go to Brazil, and he made love with lots of women, lots of beautiful women. Ty, you are a perfect example of someone who learned from parents how not to be. Your abstinence from drugs, etc., makes you wise. Yeah. My mom is awesome. She smokes cigarettes, but I'm sure she did some coke in the 80s, sure. But my mom is awesome. Like I learned a lot of good things from my mom directly. She was a good example in a lot of ways, but yeah, my biological father, yeah, total drug addict, total cheated on his wife, beat his wife, just a total loser. So yeah, I learned a lot. I did learn a lot from that. But yeah, with drugs and alcohol, both of them. I don't drink it all either. Every once in a while, someone will con me into having like a beer, but even then, like because I don't drink ever, my tolerance for alcohol is like nothing. So when someone says, "Hey Ty, you want a beer?" all I can hear into my ear hole is, "Hey Ty, do you want to shit your pants?" Because that's exactly what happens, you know. For me to have a beer is for me to shit my pants. So it's not even fun anymore. I don't even know what that word is. Libs are bad. How bad are Percocets? I've never seen that word spelled out in my life. Percocet. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. But drugs are bad. Libs are bad. I think he's all about the ganja. He's all about the ganja and the. It's a plant, man. they're all just vices. To me, I don't even see it as like drugs or not drugs. Yeah, and Libs Are Bad is gonna be like, weed isn't a drug. It's not a drug. It's a vice, dude. I've met like I know tons of people who all they do is smoke weed. And here's my biggest problem with smoking weed. Unless you live in a state where it's legal, which isn't a lot of states, or maybe it's more and more. I do hope that it's legalized for that reason, but for all of my friends that smoke weed, it's just a constant game of like lying. So you're constantly having to hide it from police, from other people, from your friends, from people who you don't want to think who people it's just a constant game of hiding and lying. And dude, oh my god, I could never live that way. Dude, I feel so bad, man. You're just always like cleaning up your little stems and shit and god, what a horrible way to live. Like for me, like if I look at porn one time, I feel like shit and I have to like shit, now I got to tell my wife. Me and my wife have like radical honesty. So the pact is I you know, I don't look at porn and then her side of the deal is that I can pretty much get it whhenever I want it. Dude, try to make this deal with your wives, guys. It's like the deal of a century. So they get a husband who isn't whacking off to other women all the time and like wasting his freaking jizz strength on other women. And you get it whenever you want it. You know, people say it's impossible, but it's not impossible. I am telling you. So, but yeah, all those things are vices, and all those things revolve around lies. You, Joe said you saved yourself 40 years of wasted time. Yeah. Porn was always my vice, man. I don't even know. I'm sure like I've wasted thousands of hours collectively. I don't even want to try to do the math on that. But yeah, dude, if like quit porn. Porn is the worst thing ever for your brain, for your marriage, for everything. It trains your brain to be think about it. You're watching two other people have sex or more. You're watching two other people have sex and you are whacking it to that. If it was like if you were to tell someone, "Hey, I went to my friend Pete's house, or I went to my friend Darnell's house and watched him bang this blonde girl for 30 minutes." People would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And even afterwards, you would leave that house being like, "Dude, that was fucked up. Why did I do that?" You would live with that guilt. But that's exactly what porn is. Porn is the exact fucking thing, is same fucking thing as that. It's just you're looking at it on a computer screen instead of at Darnell's house or whatever. Honestly, I'm not understanding what you're talking about, Ty Rich's music. Pedro, that's because you don't speak English, dude. Learn English. You don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. Sorry, what is Percocets? That's Libs Are Bad. He likes to talk about drugs and plants and drugs. He's really into that. Anything can be a vice if you abuse it. Yeah. Well, I happen to know that weed is a vice for like half the people that I know. 8-Bit Bear. Dude, he's in the house. Percocets are oxycodone. Yeah. That's a hell of a drug. How far am I behind on the chat here? 8-Bit Bear. Porn is the worst vice because it's free and your dealer is in your pocket. Dude, infinite supply for free. And I think it's more damaging than any of that, too. weed is legal and libs are bad in his state. Yeah, I'm sure it is, dude. That's good, man. I mean, that's I'm glad for you because that's one less thing you have to worry about on vices, is you don't have to like live in a lie all the time, like trying to hide shit. I'm sure you have to be careful though. You have to make sure like you have the right quantity and the right kind or whatever. There's still a lot of regulations. It's not like there aren't regulations on it. I'm sure that Pedro is like cursing at me in Portuguese right now, but I have no fucking idea what he's saying. I'm gonna screen cap this and translate it later. He's probably like, I'm just gonna translate and I'm gonna go ahead and say Pedro's saying, "Fuck you, Ty. I hate you. Love, Pedro." Weed's not legal anywhere in the U.S. I thought it was legal in Colorado and California, or at least in some forms. When I went to Colorado, it seemed like it was legal. There was a lot of it. Pedro says, "Fuck, I missed the comments." Joe says, "Agree. I have the same deal with Kalena. She's up for it anytime." Dude, you'd be amazed how many women would be like, "All right, so I'm gonna not look at porn." Even throw in, dude, I basically don't masturbate anymore. Dude, just no porn, and I dare you, don't masturbate, no faps. For the trade-off, like make this deal with your wife for getting sex whenever you want it. Dude, any woman who doesn't take that deal is retarded. If you're the wife and you're not taking that deal, then you're basically saying like, I love that my boyfriend is gonna be whacking off all the time to other women. That's the alternative. You're a retard if you think that's a great plan. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. Just that's how it's supposed to work, man. That's how it's always supposed to have been. Between man and wife. Are you married yet, libs are bad? You need to get off the weed and get a wife. You need to drop the weed and focus on no more weed until you're married with one child. Or you're addicted and it's a total vice. How's that? Ever heard of Oregon, Colorado, or a couple other states? Weed isn't federally legal because CBD is good for you, but it is state legal in multiple states. Yeah, I think that's true. Yes, those states have horrible problems. The stats don't lie. Federally, still illegal. I miss comments again. Joe says, like Gavin promoted 3 years ago. Yeah, no faps. Yeah, to me, this is kind of the next level of it. It's like not just no faps, but take it to the next level. Not just no faps. Put it in the baby maker and make the babies. Make babies. Real men fuck and make babies with their penises. I know this is very elementary, but this is what real men do. Libs are bad says there isn't a right kind weed is legal here in Oregon, and weed isn't just a bad thing. Look into CBD. I've heard some things. I don't know about cures. We'll see. Is it a treatment or is it a cure? Like you touch CBD once and you never have a seizure again? Really? I don't know. Cure is a very strong word. Libs are bad. I know you love the veg. I'm going to take another screenshot, man. I'm getting some more... Bye, Pedro. I don't know if he's cussing me out or if he loves me. There's really no way to know. But I still like him. I'm screenshotting his Portuguese. I'm gonna translate it later. Libs are bad says I don't smoke anymore, and I'm not going to get a wife because 99% of people around me are whores. You sounding like a MGTOW, dude. You need to stop sounding like a MGTOW when everyone and you need to move away from the cities. Everyone who says 99% of ladies around me are whores, that you're getting into the faggot zone very quickly. You need to be careful. Libs are bad. Like I said earlier, like move 1 mile outside of the city. Whatever, you're probably in a big city if 99% are blue-haired feminazi whores. It's very, or you need to get some new friends. Guitar Bear, what's up, man? It's good to see you. So, weed people lie. Dude, you're spot on, Joe. Dude, listen to the 59-year-old man, okay? Weed people lie. Dude, it's so freaking true. They lie compulsively. And even good friends of mine, like I've got good friends of mine that, the times when they were like smoking weed, and especially the friends that are like dealing weed, oh man, it's like extra lies. If you're some people might watch this later and know who I'm talking about. Weed people lie, which hurts the actual medical use because people hear lies from weed heads who just want the high. Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely like a compulsive lying that kind of goes with any kind of drug use to me, or plant use if you prefer. Libs are bad. Joe says I approve medical use. However, 95% of use is not medical. Yeah, that's kind of a bullshit cop out thing. It's kind of like a emotional, what do they call it? Emotional support pet. Yeah, weed is being masqueraded as an emotional support pet, basically. Like I said, people say religion is for weak people and Christianity is for weak people. No, weed is for weak people who can't deal with life. But the same is true for alcohol. That covers even more people. So like, alcohol, and I would say even bars are for weak people who can't handle, like, life is only fun when you're ingesting poison. I'm channeling my inner Ned Flanders. Listen to Ned, guys. Hoodly daddly. Hoodly daddly. It literally cures epilepsy. Dude, I mean, I think anything's possible. I've just never seen it. Like, I have friends that have epilepsy that hate it, and I would love to just like, can I like throw a drop on them and be like, ha ha, fuck you, you're cured. Because that'd be awesome. I would just like shoot CBD at all my epileptic friends, and they would be like cured forever, whether they like it or not. That'd be badass. Like cure rape. That's so messed up. You're like shooting a cure. Dude, I'm about to get kicked off in about 1:30, and I gotta go to bed, guys. So let's get it in here. A-Bit Bear says, we just made me an apathetic and indulge in material pleasures at best. At worst, made me paranoid. Don't miss it. Yeah, dude, all those vices kind of compound on each other. Mine was like eating shitty food and porn. They would always like go together. Eating shitty food, porn, procrastinating on work, which for me means not getting paid. All those things would compound on stuff for me. Libs Are Bad says, not just women, men too. Fuck sex. I'm gonna be a monk. Yeah, if you can withstand the sin, that would actually be an okay way to go. Like Paul says that's cool. But the thing is, like, half the MGTOW guys that say that, they all like fuck like 5 chicks a week. They're not withstanding sin. So, Dude, I want to jump back on with you guys because I'm having a blast. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. You'll just have to see. I've got 20 seconds left. I know hundreds of them. Age does not equal intelligence. Dude, all right. Man, I've had a blast with you guys. I really got to go to bed because I got to wake up and run 3 miles. But I'll see you guys. Peace.